Hello everyone, I'm Michelle Smith and welcome back to my channel. I have a Dollar Tree spring DIY for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you how to take this adorable sign that I found at Dollar Tree and turn it into a spring wreath. Dollar Tree carries two types of blue truck signs. There's this one that says Welcome Home and has tulips in the back. Then they have another one that I believe says Hello Spring, and it has other flowers and a little bird in the back. Either of those trucks will work for this project. We're going to use this sign and these supplies and make a beautiful spring wreath. Let me go ahead and show you how to make it. Here is a list of the tools and materials I used to complete the project. For your convenience, I've also included a detailed list in the description box below. You will need a 14-inch ring form from Dollar Tree. You will need 3 rolls of the blue Deco Mesh and then 6 rolls of the striped Deco Mesh. Now if you can't find 6 rolls of Deco Mesh in the striped, you can use 3, and instead of doing 3 rolls at a time, you'll only do 2 rolls at a time. But I want mine to be really thick and full, and I want it to be mainly the striped color. So that's why I'm using 2 striped and 1 blue. You'll also need pipe cleaners cut in half and a ruler to measure with. To get started, unwrap each of your rolls. Now, so that my rolls don't tangle while I'm working with my mesh, I usually put one out on either side of my body. You'll want to take those ends and pull them together. The third roll I just leave on the table. Once you have all 3 ends scrunched together and you want to keep them side by side, that will make it much easier for you to separate your poofs as you go along and make your wreath. So I bend my ends over and pull that pipe cleaner nice and tight and give it a twist. You want to make sure that's tight. This is what we're going to use to attach it to the wreath. I've heard this method called the poof method or the bubble method. Now when we attach it, we're going to start here on a crossbar on the 2 bars in the center. So I take it and I feed it down through the top in the center. And then I take those 2 pipe cleaners and wrap them around that center bar. And I kind of do it kitty corner because I don't want it to slide. And then pull tight and twist. So I have it come up this side and come up this side. Then I'm going to take those ends and pull them back through my pipe cleaners and then give it another twist down. This is just another step to make sure that they don't become loose. We don't want our wreath to come unraveled. And then I just push my ends up. Now I'm going to trim a little bit of these ends off, but you want to leave at least an inch, inch and a half so that it doesn't pull back through. I really love this method with Dollar Tree mesh because you don't cut the mesh, so you don't see any fraying, and the colors, especially with this striped mesh, it comes out so beautiful. You want to grab all 3 of the mesh together and then pull together take your ruler. You want to place this end at 0, or the end of your ruler, and then you're going to measure to 8 inches. You pinch at 8 inches. Take a pipe cleaner and wrap around. Pull it nice and tight to the back and twist. Now I prefer to attach my pipe cleaner directly to my mesh. That way the mesh doesn't slide around, and then attach it to the 2 bars in the middle. Some people like to just directly attach it to the 2 bars in the middle, but what I find is that the mesh tends to slip around and it makes it more difficult to work with. So I prefer to attach it directly to the mesh first and then to the bar. Okay, and then you just push those ends down and you push that poof up. Now it doesn't look like much now. I go ahead and do 1 full section, and I put between 8 to 10 poofs per section. Once I finish a section, then I go back and I spread out and adjust my poofs. And that just means I separate each of the 3 pieces of mesh, and then I go in and I open up that poof. Now while you're doing this and you're working through, the only thing that you need to be concerned about is the blue. You just want to make sure that as you're pulling apart your poofs and you're fluffing them out, that you move that blue. For this first one, the blue is on this side. The next one, it'll be on this side, and then the next one in the middle, and then over. That way the blue is evenly mixed throughout the wreath. If you keep pulling it on one side, then you'll get like a stripe of blue, and you don't want that. Okay, so just keep measuring. You take the end that's attached, put that at 0, measure to 8 inches, pinch, wrap your pipe cleaner around, pull it tight, pinch it at the base and twist. And then attach it to the 2 bars in the middle. Turn over, pull it tight and twist. Pull them together and then push them forward and push over. That will also help keep the back looking nice and clean as you work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get a couple sections done and get them fluffed out, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I have my first 2 sections done and fluffed out. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I am in love with this striped mesh that you can get from Dollar Tree. This method really shows off all of the colors that come in that. Now when I picked these up, I didn't pay close enough attention. I got 3 packages of the rainbow mesh, and these have a silver stripe in them. And then I got 3 packages that don't have the silver stripe. But that's okay. So I just take one without the silver stripe and one with the silver stripe. Use those 2 together, and then with the blue. That way everything will be evenly distributed. Sometimes I can't get all the mesh I need at one store, so sometimes that happens, but you just gotta roll with it. Now on the back here, you can see I just attached it to the 2 bars in the middle, and I did put 9 poofs in one and 10 poofs in the other because I had an extra poof on the end of my roll. So you start and stop just like you do at the beginning. Just tie your ends off, cut, make sure you leave at least an inch, if not a little bit more, so that they don't pull through. And then go ahead and start the other 3 rolls. Now 3 rolls will do 2 sections, and there are 6 sections on the wreath, so you need a total of 9 rolls if you're going to do 3 at a time. You can do this method at only doing 2 rolls of mesh at a time. So if you're on a tight budget, you can get away with, let's see, 6 rolls of Deco Mesh. Okay, you can always go that route if you need to cut off a couple dollars. Or maybe you can't find enough mesh, that happens too. But I really love this. I did this same technique, but instead of using the blue, I used pink on my Easter wreath. I will go ahead and link that one at the end. That color combination came out absolutely gorgeous too. Instead of being a little bit more on the blue side, it was more on the pink, but you could still see the other colors that are in that rainbow mesh. I'm going to go ahead and finish my base, and then I'll come back and we will move forward and decorate. I have my base all done and fluffed out. I absolutely love it. I think it's so pretty. That striped mesh really adds a lot to the wreath. To prep your sign, remove the ribbon that was there to hang it. You're going to need 2 pipe cleaners, full length, and some floral wire. So down here on the wheels on either side, I glued a full pipe cleaner in the middle. You want to make sure that glue is fully set up before you attach it. And then here where the ribbon was, I ran some floral wire, one through the hole and one over the top, brought it to the back and twisted it together. I left 2 long ends, and I did this in both holes. This is what I'm also going to use to attach the sign to the wreath. Set that aside and let that glue fully set up. You're also going to need some florals. I picked these up from Dollar Tree. These are their crocus. They also sell some tulips, though they are hard to find, and the tulips are larger than this. So that's why I chose to go with the crocus. But you can use either these or the other tulips or whatever florals you would like. So I have 1 stem in yellow, 1 stem in pink, and 1 stem in purple. To prep your florals, push your leaves up and just cut each individual stem. You can always cut the stem shorter if you need to, so I try to leave them on the longer side. Now on this one, all of my stems had blooms. I had lost a couple blooms on this stem, so I just took the extra leaves off and added them to this one. So if you have any that doesn't have a bloom, just use the leaves and add them on to one of the other stems. We're going to attach our sign now. And it's very easy. You just take your pipe cleaners and your floral wire, separate the mesh and feed it all the way down to the bar in the back, and then you attach it to the bar. You do that with your pipe cleaners and your floral wire. Just figure out your placement of your sign first. I always like mine to sit right up on top of my wreath, and I like them in the middle. So once you have your placement, go ahead and attach your sign. I have my sign on. I'm really happy with the placement. I have it in the center side by side, but I have it down towards the bottom just a little bit more. I want to put a big bow up on top, so I needed to leave a little bit of extra space. Next, we're going to add our flowers. Now I'm planning on putting these on the side here and just mixing the heights and the different colors. So it looks something along these lines. Okay. So you just want to play with your placement until you get it how you like it. And then you can go ahead and glue in your stems. And all you have to do is add a little bit of hot glue to the stem and then feed it down into the mesh, and that will hold it in its position. Now remember, these do bend, so you can adjust how they lay, whether you want them to lay really close to the wreath or whether you want them to stick out a little bit. That's up to you. So I'm going to get my florals placed. I got my florals in. I'm really happy. I went on either side of the truck. I do have a few of the blooms left, but I'm going to wait until I get my bow on there and see how that looks before I add anything else. So let's go ahead and set this aside. Now the 3 ribbons that I've chosen is this one. It has a white background, lots of small blooms, and some greenery on it. This one I got from the 99-cent store. And I found this really pretty yellow with the white polka dots. This one I believe I got at Michael's. And this one that has a really pretty yellow and green check. And I got this one at Michael's too. This is Robert Stanley Collection. I think I got these at Michael's. I've had them for a while, so I may be wrong, but I think they came from Michael's. You're also going to need 1 full pipe cleaner. And today I'm going to be using the Easy Bow Maker. Now I recently got this and so far I like it. So I've made a couple bows on it, so we're going to use this today. So I'm going to start with the yellow and white polka dot ribbon. So you take one end, decide how long you want your tail to be. And this is really nice. It has the measurements. So it shows from 0 to 12 inches on this side and 0 to 8 inches on the other. So it makes it really easy for you to measure. So you can measure how long you want your tail to be. Take that and put that in. And then you're placing your ribbon in between the 2 large ones. Now since this ribbon only has pattern on one side, twist as it comes through. Then I'm going to measure to 6 inches. Fold over, pull back, and then slide down. Then you're going to go to the other side, twist it so that the pattern is facing down. You're going to measure out to 6 inches on that side. Then pull it back and through. Now I always have my finger in there holding it where I want it so that I make sure I get the same length on both sides. Then I just need to pull down, measure my tails so I get them the same length, and cut. So next I'm going to do this ribbon and we're going to measure at 5 inches. Go ahead, put it in, measure your tail, pinch and twist. You want that pattern to be facing down. Measure to 5 inches and then pull through. Once you're through, twist on the other side. Measure to 5 inches. Measure out your tail and cut. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this ribbon, but I'm going to measure it at 4 inches. Now, I like using this easy bow maker. I do suffer from arthritis in my hands, and sometimes it makes it very difficult, especially when I'm working with a large bow, to be able to hold on to it while I'm working. So this helps me out quite a bit. Okay, so you want to grab right next to the center where it's all pinched together. Lift that out, keep it pinched right there. Take your pipe cleaner, wrap it right around the center and pull it tightly to the back. And give it a good twist. And then you just need to adjust your bow. And just do a minimal adjusting at this point. Make sure that the tails are pulled down. So that is a rough fluff, but that's what your bow is going to look like. I got my bow on. I'm really happy with it. I decided to go ahead and add the leftover blooms down here at the bottom of the truck. I thought it looked a little funny without anything down there. Now for the center of my bow, I have some of these glitter berries, and these are actually like a light blue. So I'm going to glue these right into the center of the bow. And then for a final touch, I have a couple butterflies here. You get 2 in a package from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and add at least 1, maybe 2. So I got my berries glued in. And then I went ahead and added the 2 butterflies right up here on the top. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you could leave me some love in the comments, I'd appreciate that as well. This really does help support my channel. It lets YouTube know that I have content that's worth watching. Thanks so much for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you. I hope everyone in your family is staying happy, healthy, and strong. You have a great day, and I will catch you next time.